Online Racing Ltd created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.
Hello and welcome to the AOR Hype Energy Round 13 of the Oceania PS4 Tier 1 League. My name is Expert and I'll be your commentator for this afternoon's race. We are here at Round 13 for the Belgian Grand Prix around the Circuit D Spa-Francorchamps. This circuit, one of the best circuits that we currently race at on the F1 calendar, has 19 corners and it has a total track distance of 7 kilometers, otherwise known as 4.352 miles. The track record around here is currently held by Sebastian Vettel with a 141.5. The Season 4 pole position was taken by Pete Crine in the Mercedes with a 41.4. And then the Season 4 results, he managed to convert that into a win with F1 Amazing out, taking out P2 and Pigger in P3. So we're going to have a quick look now at the previous results. As you can see, our league is on the left of your screen, the PS4 F1. F1 Amazing out took out the win at the last round at the Hungarian Grand Prix, ahead of Swagging the Alfa Romeo, who definitely showed a very strong performance there, ahead of Spilly as well in the Racing Point, also showing another really good performance. Then you had Darren, who unfortunately had a really bad start, putting himself all the way back down to P4, which he also did qualify on pole position. Then you have Eye Contrast rounding out your top 5 for the Ferrari team. Now we're going to have a quick look at your driver standings here for this afternoon's race. We have F1 Amazing out, who leads the drivers table heading into round 13 of the championship. We're pretty much just over halfway of the we're actually halfway now, well, just over I should say, because it's an uneven number, but we are halfway through the championship now. 268 points has Amazing Hour, does he have, I should say. Pete Crine and Darren Levin, the two Mercedes drivers, sitting in second and third. Then you have Eye Contrast for Ferrari and P4 sitting on 108 points, a little bit behind the front three at the moment, so he's going to have a little bit of work to do. Then you got Spilly sitting in P5 for Racing Point, 6th is Plebs, 7th is Dubsy for Ferrari, 8th is the other Racing Point of Crossy, in 9th is Swaggy, and rounding out your top 10 for the McLaren team is Sir LJB. Now you're going to have a look at the teams championships rather. It is Mercedes AMG who lead the way at the moment on 330 points. 29 points different between them and Williams at the moment, so that's going to be tight coming towards the end of this meeting, or this race I should say. Then you have Ferrari sitting in third at the moment, ahead of Racing Point in P4 on 138 points. Then you have the Renault F1 team in P5, which is mainly all their points have been done by Plebs in the Renault, because he's been the only driver pretty much all season. Then you have the Alfa Romeo team of Swaggy, and I'm trying to remember who the other driver is, I'll come back to it with that. But then you have Toro Rosso in 7th, 8th McLaren, 9th Red Bull, and rounding out your 10 with 7 points is Haas F1 team. We'll be back in 1 second. We're just having a few technical difficulties with the lobby at the moment. We'll be back in about a minute. Okay, I do apologise for that unfortunate issue there, but we are going. I think we're having a few issues as well with the audio in-game, so I can try and fix it for you guys, but I'm not too sure if it's going to work. But anyway, the majority of drivers are now setting out for their lap. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Well, looks like unfortunately we're going to have no audio for the qualifying session here, unfortunately, due to this bug that I still don't know why it's in the game. But anyway, we are on board with Spilly now as he's about to finish his first final lap. Where's this going to move him up to? He's going to go on to pole position with a 143.7 for the Racing Point team. I'll bring up all the telemetry on your screen now as well. I do apologise as well if I'm not commentating very nicely. I'm not 100% at the moment. So now Dubsy moves up into pole position with a 43.4 for Ferrari. All these drivers have elected to use the soft tyres. Toro Rosso driver of J Banks now in second, and now Dubsy's teammate iContrast goes to third provisionally, as Pete Crichton now goes to pole position with a 143.1 for Mercedes. 40 at the moment in P5, the other Mercedes driver this afternoon, replacing Darren 11, who is racing in America at the moment for the Las Vegas Supernats in karting, so much of luck to him, goes towards him. But at the moment, with 12 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this session, it is Pete Crichton that sits on pole position at the moment, as the majority of drivers have pretty much finished their first run. It is Pete Crichton who sits on pole position ahead of the Ferrari driver of Dubsy. Then you have J Banks at the moment in the Toro Rosso sitting P3. Then you got iContrast, the other Ferrari, of MP4. Ferrari definitely seem to be a little bit stronger in the qualifying session at the moment than they seem to have been in the past. But 40 now, the reserve driver, which actually, he's not a reserve driver, I should say. I think he's just moved up, replacing Darren now, because I don't believe he'll be competing in any more of the AOR leagues for the rest of the season anyway, due to other commitments, as I said before. So he's sitting in P5 at the moment. Then you got the Racing Point of Spilly in P6. Then you got Aaron, who's doing a pretty decent performance at the moment, in P7 for Haas. X Revolution, who's in the pit lane at the moment for Toro Rosso, in 8th. Crossy, the other Racing Point rather, in 9th. Then you got the Gaming Wafer and Andre for Red Bull sitting in 10th and 11th. Sir LJB for McLaren in P12. Banana Josh in Haas, one of our reserve drivers this afternoon, who I believe is about to start a lap. He is actually starting a lap now, so we're going to run on board with him. Coming into turn 1, just manages to get the nose in there. Does Banana Josh. Coming down the straight now. You normally want to run middle of the track just to minimise the track distance that you are taking. He goes through our Rouge nicely, runs a little bit wide on the middle section. He's going to open DRS nice and wide now. Coming down the straight, he goes flat out now, 340 kilometers an hour. Brakes nicely into that first right-hander. Very easy to lose to the rear end on these Spa curbs, I should say. The majority of the braking boards I've already seemed to be taken out, so that could affect some of the drivers that aren't using Racing Line. I do believe the only assist available is medium traction control, maybe ABS, and corner Racing Line. I do believe they are the only assists available. He runs really wide through the first double left-hander, did Banana Josh. He's sitting in P14 at the moment, the last of the drivers that have set a time at the moment. Every driver seems to be electing to use the soft tyre at the moment, so that could be interesting coming towards the end of the qualifying session to see if any drivers are able to go any faster on the medium tyre. Amazing Hour he's actually just starting a lap now, I should say, but Banana Josh is coming through the final sector now. Doesn't use all the exit curbing, coming into the bus stop chicane now, break of the 100 meter board. He actually comes in the pits, that is Banana Josh, so I think he realised that he wasn't going to improve on that medium tyre. So he's coming in for the soft tyre, if I'm correct. Now Plevs has actually moved himself up into P3, has the Renault driver, so that's a nice performance there from him. J Banks is on an outlap as well. Going to ride on board with Amazing Hour. He's midway through his lap at the moment. I think he's actually backed out. Yeah, I think he's backed out. He went out on the hard tyre. So I think he's realised that he's going to have no chance there at beating anyone's time, as you can see. Because he's running in 0 ERS. Same as Stuart McKenzie. Actually, he's starting a lap now. Is the other Williams driver. That was the Ferrari of Dubsy coming out of the pits there as well. So he's going to set out for his outlap and hopefully be able to improve his time, as Swaggy now moves himself up into P2 for the Alpha team, Alfa Romeo team. Nice job from him. Hello guys, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Table Clan, Macca Stewart, Jack Hayter. So currently the 3 drivers that have not set a time at the moment is Stuart McKenzie, who is on a lap at the moment, F1 Amazing, who's coming out of the pits, or will be coming out of the pits very shortly. Then you got Harry Tomato, who's also coming out of the pits, will be very shortly as well. But Stuart McKenzie is setting his lap time on the soft tyre, like every other driver that is currently sitting in the top 14. So LJB being the first driver on the mediums, but I do believe he will swap over to the soft tyre. So McKenzie gets a lot of oversteer there on exit, so that's definitely going to cost him a little bit of time down this back straight. I do apologise for the audio issues as well, but he's coming through the final sector now. Is still McKenzie. Break of the 100 metre board, gets turned in nicely, runs a little bit wide on exit, a little bit deep. He still manages to get it turned in though. Open DRS nice and wide down the front straight now. Where's he going to move him up to? He only manages to get into position 11, does the Williams driver. So he's going to have a little bit of time to find when he chucks on a new set of tyres. I'm going to find some drivers that are on a lap. We're going to ride on board here with Dubsy, who is currently in Sector 2. Coming into this double left-hander. Gets through there nicely. Runs a little bit wide though. That could potentially have handed him a exclusion of that lap. But no, he seems to be pushing on. Invalid lap time. That was the word I was trying to say. But I believe the Sector 3 line comes on after the exit of this corner. It does, and he's actually backed out now. As Dubsy got a lot of oversteer on the exit of that corner. Extra Revolution now moves himself up into P2 for Toro Rosso. That's a very nice time there for the Toro Rosso team. It looks to be a very close qualifying session as it is. You can see Pete Crichton now finishing a lap. He's 2/10 faster, or 2/10 faster than his previous lap. So he's going to move comfortably into the 142s. No, he stays in the 143s actually. So he must have lost a little bit of time towards the end of the lap. So he sits on a 143.169 as it stands. Jay Banks now up in a P3, so it is currently a Mercedes, Toro Rosso rounding out your top 3 on the grid. Then on the second row joining Jay Banks is Swaggy in the Alfa Romeo. Dubsy's now in the pit lane, as you can see. The Gaming Wafer is on an outlap. I think Crossy was just trying to get out of the way there, but he moves himself up in a P7 for Renault, sorry, I meant Racing Point. Anyway, I do believe Plevs is about to start a lap now for the Renault team, so we're going to ride on board with him. See what time he manages to pull out. F1 Amazing Hour still not set a lap. I do believe he is on a time lap now. But we're going to ride on board with Plevs as he's straight lining the exit of the final corner to get the best possible run. Coming into turn 1 now is a Renault driver. Brake around the 100 metre board. It's definitely down to preference if you're going to brake a bit later. Gets the car turned in nicely. Does slide into it though, so that's going to cost him a little bit down the straight. You want to be running around middle of the track at the moment. The majority of drivers seem to be going a little bit wider. But anyway, coming up Eau Rouge now. Gets through there very nicely. You're going to minimise the amount of turning through there just to keep up your straight line speed. He's currently sitting in P10 at the moment, is Plevs. Definitely got to watch his timing board as well, because I do believe Amazing Hour is on a lap. Runs wide there, does Plevs, so that's going to cost him a little bit of time, unfortunately. As he did put a tyre in the grass. Late apexes. That long right hander now through the corner with no name. Gets through there nicely. Gets very close to the exit wall there. Lucky not to hit it, I should say. Through the double left-hander now. Negotiates that pretty nicely. Does Plebs. Breaking at the 50-meter board now. Runs a little bit wide on the first part of that chicane. Don't run it out too wide here on exit, because you will invalidate your lap time very easily. Now this is all down to just making sure you don't just turning your wheel as minimal as possible. Flat out through this left-hander in a modern day F1 car. Uses all the track, brake at the 100-meter board, coming into the bus stop chicane. Gets it turned in nicely for both corners. He's going to come across the line now. This should be an improved lap time if I'm correct. He does it, moves up into P7 though. Not ideal. I definitely don't think he'll want to be there, but he'll want to be up around that top 5 area. Now Spilly's moved himself up into P3, splitting the both of the Toro Rossos. So I'm not too sure what Amazing Hour's doing. He's still failed to settle up, has Amazing Hour. So he's going to have to try and get out before the around the 1:50 to 2 minute mark to have sufficient time to warm up his tyres and get around the track. But it is still Pete Crichton that is sitting on pole position at the moment with a 1:43.169. Then you have X Revolution sitting in position 2. Third is Spilly for Racing Point. Then you got Jay Banks, who is on an out lap at the moment, trying to do his final run now on the soft tyres. In P4 for Toro Rosso. Both Toro Rossos in the top 4 at the moment. It's a solid performance from them. Then you got Swaggy in the Alfa Romeo, sitting in P5. Dubsy in 6 at the moment. The majority of drivers are on their out lap at the moment. Plebs in 7-2 just finished the lap. I do not believe he'll have enough time, or sufficient time even, to get around to set another lap. So I think he's going to have to settle for P7 or lower potentially. Then you got iContrast, who's coming out of the pits now in P8 for Ferrari. The Gaming Wafer in 9th. 10th is Crossy F1 for the Racing Point team. Then you have McLaren, driver of Cell JB, sitting in 11th at the moment. Aaron for Haas in P12, 40 in 13th. He's definitely going to be wanting to move off a few more positions than he is at the moment for the team's championship purpose anyway. And you got Stuart McKenzie sitting in 14th at the moment, so he's going to be looking to move up a few positions as well. Andre in 15th, 16th is Todsa in the other Renault. Banana Josh, one of our reserve drivers at the moment, sitting in 17th. Then you have Harry Tomato and F1 Amazing Hour. Still failed to set a lap time. Amazing Hour is going to get only one run here, so it's going to be interesting. He's going to have to put a very nice lap together if he's wanting to get into that top 3 area. I do believe Amazing Hour's worst qualifying position is 5th, I believe, around here. Sorry, not around here, I should say altogether in this league. So we're going to see where this puts him towards the end of the qualifying session. I do believe the majority of drivers are setting out on their laps now. As you can see, X Revolution, he's actually trying to straight line that corner massively. I definitely think he's overdone it there, but anyway. He's coming across the line now to start his lap. It was final run here for the Belgian Grand Prix. He's actually run really deep. He's locked up the inside front. Has the Toro Rosso driver, so that's going to cost him a bit of time down this back straight. Trying to get a little toe off the Alpha there. I do believe that was Swaggy. So he's unfortunately screwed up his first turn. He's backed out of it already. I'm going to quickly, sorry about this, I'm going to quickly turn on driver tag so we can see who's around. Then anyway, X Revolution using all the entry curb. Plebs is now retired from the session to, obviously, he will not be able to set another lap. Pete Crichton's also on a lap. He's heading out through El Rouge at the moment, is the Mercedes driver. X Revolution now coming through the middle sector. Gets through there quite nicely, coming through the double apex. Nicely negotiated from the Toro Rosso driver. So we didn't get a split. I unfortunately didn't see the split time there or the delta time. But Jay Banks now goes to pole position with the 1:43.0 for Toro Rosso. So that's a very nice lap from the Toro Rosso driver. Will his teammate be able to move himself up into that top 2 spot to make it a Toro Rosso 1-2 as it stands? I unfortunately did not see the delta time again. I was too worried about Jay Banks sitting on pole position But anyway, the majority of drivers are on their fast lap now, so we're going to see a few more improvements now. J-Banks has finished his lap. Swaggy is now settled for P5, and Dubsy has finished 6th. Cell JB has moved himself up into P8 now for McLaren. Nice job from him. Now, Revolution's coming across the line now. What's this going to do? He's going to move himself up into P2 for a Toro Rosso 1-2, but there is now P. Crichton at the moment, who I do believe is actually slower on his lap at the moment. Amazing how goes to pole position with the 148. So 42.8, that's his one and only lap that he's actually set in this qualifying session at the moment. So will he be able to better that? He definitely seems to be slower at the moment, as it says at the top right on your Delta. But anyway, he's going to come across the line now. Is the Mercedes driver, will be able to get a pole position? No, he won't. He's going to be the second driver that has managed to get into the 1 minute 42s. Spilly is now coming through the bus stop chicane. Will he be able to improve? He's run really wide on exit there through the bus stop chicane. Has Spilly, so I think he's backed out now. I don't think he wants to use his tyres. But that is your qualifying grid here for the Belgian Grand Prix. It is F1 Amazing that takes a surprising pole position, only setting one lap in the qualifying session. He manages to take out the front row ahead of the Mercedes of Pete Crichton. Very nice lap there. I wish I would have seen that lap actually from F1 Amazing Hour, but anyway, it is Amazing Hour that takes pole position for Williams ahead of Pete Crichton, rounding out your first row. Then you have it's actually 8/100ths of a second between the two drivers on the front row. Then you got J Banks and Revolution for Toro Rosso. Both very good performance there from the two Toro Rosso drivers, rounding out your second row. Then you got Aaron, who's done a really nice qualifying performance for Haas in 5th, Spilly 6th, Contrail 7th, 8th, Swaggy 9, Dubsy. Rounding out your top 10 is Renault. The Renault driver of Plebs. Then you got Cell JB for McLaren, Gaming Wafer, 40, Crossy, Stuart McKenzie, Todd, Andre, Banana Josh, and Harry Tomato, who unfortunately did not set a lap here in the Belgian Grand Prix session. So we're going to let the drivers head out to the grid now for the race. As you can see now, the drivers are heading out for their formation lap. There is 22 laps ahead of the 19 drivers participating here in the AOR Hype Energy PS4 OCEANIA at Tier 1 League here this afternoon for the Belgian Grand Prix. It is F1 Amazing Hour who took pole position with a one-lap dash, by the way, from the Williams driver. He only had one lap that he completed in the qualifying session. In the dying moments, he managed to get ahead of the two Toro Rossos and Pete Crichton, who were definitely very close in times throughout that 18-minute qualifying session there. But it is him that takes out pole position. Then right next to him on the front row is Pete Crichton. Then you got the two Toro Rossos of J Banks and X Revolution doing a very nice performance there from the two Toro Rossos. And you got Aaron, who's done a very nice performance for Haas. Definitely stepped up his game a little bit here compared to his previous races in the AOR league. So he's done a nice performance there for Haas. And you got Spilly, MP6 for Racing Point. High contrast in 7th for Ferrari. Then you got the Alfa Romeo splitting high contrast and his teammate Dubsy in P8 and 9. Then you got Plebs, who unfortunately was only able to do 2 runs in that qualifying session in P10. And you got Sir JB for McLaren in 11th, the Gaming Way for 12th, 40, 13th, 14th is the other Racing Point of Crossy, who was elected to start on the medium tires, rather, all the way down in 14th. You got Stuart McKenzie in 15th, 16th, Todd's to Andre, 17th. 18th is Banana Josh, and 19th is Harry Tomato. So I do believe everyone except for Sir LJB that is out of the top 10 has elected to use the soft tire, medium tire rather. If you guys are new around here, please do hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen and turn on notifications to always get notified when an AOR league goes live. Let me know in the comment section below who you think is going to win the Belgian Grand Prix. Drivers are heading towards the end of their formation lap now. Banana Josh has just joined back the session, so he may have unfortunately disconnected there while he was on his formation lap. But the drivers are now forming up on the grid. They have 22 laps ahead of them for this afternoon's race. This is going to be interesting coming at turn 1. Waiting for the light sequence to begin. Green flags have been waved. Light sequence is beginning here for the Belgian Grand Prix. There's 5 red lights ahead of the drivers and the lights are out. They're underway. Amazing How gets a very nice jump off the start. He manages to get ahead of the 2 Mercedes, but now that's J Banks going down the inside of P. Crichton into turn 1. He moves up into P2. And there's actually a massive spin there from the Toro Rosso there. There was 3-4 cars there in trouble there. So that's now moved the 3 front drivers ahead of anyone else at the moment. Sarah JB's moved from P11 into P4. In 2 quarters, but now it's going to be a slipstream fest heading down the straight between the 3 front runners. That's the left one, Amazing Out, P. Crichton and J Banks. Amazing Out getting pushed out by P. Crichton coming into turn 5. Now that moves J Banks back down to P3, but now Dubsy's up into P4. He managed to get ahead of Sir LJB, but now Sir LJB is also on fresh tyres, may I point out, for McLaren compared to Dubsy, who had to qualify on his tyres. So he's definitely moved up a lot of positions to Sir LJB. He started P11 into P5 on the first lap. Spilly stays in P6. Stuart McKenzie moved himself up into P7. Swaggy in 8th now. He's dropped a few. He's actually maintained his position, should I say. Plebs up in position into 9th. Banana Josh has moved up 8 spots from P18 into P10 now. Then he's got his teammate right behind him of Aaron in P11. P12 is Crossy F1. Our contrast, I think, got tangled up in that first lap drama. Then you got Toddster in 14th, 40, 15th. Harry Tomato 16th, and then you got Andre, who I think got caught up in the first lap incident. Same as Revolution in the Toro Rosso and the Gaming Wafer all the way down in 17th, 18th and 19th. So that's unfortunate there, especially for Andre. But anyway, now P. Crichton has the slipstream on Amazing How. Will he dive down the inside heading into the bus stop chicane? He's actually just sitting behind him is the Mercedes driver, so I do believe he's trying to pull away from J Banks at the moment, or at least these 3 try to work together to pull ahead of Dubsy, but now there is actually a battle starting to form between the top 5 as Amazing How leads heading onto lap 2. Going to be a slipstream fest down the back straight. That definitely could have been what P. Crichton was waiting for as well. But it's Amazing How that leads ahead of P. Crichton heading onto lap 2. Then you got J Banks, Dubsy and Sir LJB rounding out your top 5 at the moment. They're coming through our Rouge now. They've all split up a little bit, but now Dubsy's going to be right on the rear of J Banks coming towards the end of this lap. Will P. Crichton dive down the inside? He's going to try and think about it. He's going to go down the inside. Is P. Crichton? He's going to try and make it stick, but is he able to? No, Amazing How definitely seemed to have the better grip, but he's going to try and get back down the inside. They made contact. The very nice racing room there, left by the drivers. Dubsy was unable to make a move on J Banks for P3 as well. So LJB is right there, but now you got Spilly, who's going to try and start to catch up to these front 5. So LJB definitely seems to have a lot of pace at the moment. He being the first driver on fresh tyres, may I point out, starting P11 in this Grand Prix. Stuart McKenzie being the second, who started all the way down in 13th or 14th, if I was correct. He's moved himself up 8 positions into P7 after that first lap incident there. Toddster's unfortunately retired from the session down in P19 for Renault, so that's unfortunate there for the team's points championship and Toddster himself. But anyway, now it is a 6-way battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. Spilly makes a massive mistake there, so he's going to start to get pressure now from Stuart McKenzie heading into the bus stop chicane. Stuart McKenzie will be aiming to make a move. Definitely didn't seem to have the run there. To Stuart McKenzie's running in no ERS, so he's definitely trying to save a little bit here. He'll be waiting until the back straight to make a move. But it is still amazing how that leads. Complete slipstream fest. This is very good for racing, may I point out. DRS is now unable, so we're going to see a few more overtakes happen now. Dubsy's right on the rear of Jay Banks. Pete Crichton is right on the rear of F1 Amazing Hour, so we're going to ride on board with Dubsy. They're all going to be catching up to Amazing Hour. He has a little bit of a gap though, does Amazing Hour. I don't believe any drivers made a move there. Spilly has fallen off a little bit after that mistake through the middle sector. So the final sector rather. Definitely the driver that definitely gained the most out of that start there was definitely Sir LJB, starting in P11 on fresh tyres, on fresh soft tyres, all the way up into P5 now for McLaren. He definitely seems to be quite pacey at the moment as well. Normally at this point you would see Amazing Hour definitely just starting to pull away from everyone at the moment, but unfortunately with that slipstream and these long straights around this track, very easy to keep with the drivers in front of you. You see Amazing Hour is running an overtake at the moment just to stay ahead of the drivers behind him. There's a yellow flag, and that's actually Aaron that's unfortunately retired from the session. So I think there was an incident there between him and Harry Tomato. That's actually his car there that's unfortunately hit the barrier heavily. So that's unfortunate there for the Haas team. That was actually 40 trying to make a move on Crossy coming into the bus stop chicane, which unfortunately was not able to make a move. I'm going to go back to this front group now because it will be a slipstream fest coming into turns 5, 6 if I'm correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 it is. 7 it is. 7. Took me a bit to get to it. But anyway, Pete Crichton still just sitting behind Amazing Hour. I definitely think he's just saving ERS. He was running in none at the moment through that down that back straight. So he's using Amazing Hour to save his ERS at the moment. Is Pete Crichton. Definitely anyone's race at the moment. He's locking up his inside front tyre. At the moment is Pete Crichton. But if anyone's got an ideal strategy at the moment, it's Sir LJB, because he's going to have the freshest tyres out of anyone here at the moment, as he did start MP11. Spilly's trying to make some ground back up on those front 5 and trying to pull away from Stuart McKenzie. MP7, Swaggy's right there as well. Then you got a little bit of a gap. 2-wide contrast, MP9. Plebs is starting to get under the rear wing of that Ferrari. He's also got 40 right behind him in the Mercedes, trying to move up a few spots. He's moved up 2 from P13. Extra Evolution now gets ahead of Crossy. These two are going to go side by side coming into the final sector. Extra Evolution rocking that head and center helmet. Crossy's going to have the slipstream down the straight. Revolution's running an overtake, but Crossy's only using low at the moment, so definitely trying to save a bit of ERS. He does have 70%, so I don't know why. He definitely needs to try and be within that DRS range, does Crossy. Going to move back up to this front group. Anyway, Spilly now sets the fastest lap, trying to catch up to Sir LJB. They're actually all really close at the moment. Here's the front 5. You saw J Banks was right on the rear of Pete Crichton. Down that straight, they're a lot closer to Amazing Hour at the moment. I don't like this view. I don't know why I keep stopping to it, but anyway. Pete, they're all going to have DRS on Amazing Hour. He's definitely a lot closer at the moment. Here's Pete Crichton. He's going to try and make a move down the inside. Willie coming into turn 7. He is. Pete Crichton's going to go down the inside. Manages to get the move done. He pushes Amazing Hour out wide. Gets the move done. Does Pete Crichton for Mercedes. Nice job there from the Mercedes driver of Pete Crichton. Joe Banks was unfortunately just sitting back there a little bit. Just didn't want to get involved in these two battling. Yellow flag in sector 1 and 3. There's no drivers seeming to be dropping down the order at the moment. I'm not too sure what that's for. But anyway, it actually could be between Banana Josh and Gaming Wave. We're going to have a look. No, maybe not. It might have just been a local yellow. But now Pete Crichton takes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Swaggy has now got a 3-second time penalty. Runs wide a little bit there, does J Banks. To the final sector now. Comes to front 5. So LJB's falling off a little bit. He's starting to fall into the arms of Dubsy. Spilly's still trying to catch up. Actually, no, LJB has made a move on Dubsy for position 4, so that's a nice move there. Well, nice positions gained there for the McLaren team. He's actually hit that curve there, did Dubsy. Very close to be losing the rear end. Thought about making a move there, did Dubsy, but he's going to stay behind. So LJB is, he's actually overcooked it, has the McLaren driver. So he's going to do the under and over. Is Dubsy. They're going to go side by side. Coming into turn 1. P. Crichton now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. They're going to go side by side. Coming into turn 1. So LJB has the inside line. Dubsy gets squeezed out wide. They're going to go side by side. Coming into Eau Rouge. Up ready on. Front drivers go. He has that dirty air. Did Dubsy. He's going to have the DRS though on Sir LJB. If I was Sir LJB, I definitely would have sat behind Dubsy there and just waited for his DRS down this back straight. Well, I should have said I definitely would have conceded a position to Dubsy after that battle through turn 1. But anyway, Andre now has a 3-second time penalty to add to his race time at the end of the race. Spilly has now got ahead of Dubsy. He's trying to make a move for P4 is the Racing Point driver of Sir LJB. So these two must have made a little bit of contact between the Ferrari and McLaren drivers. So they must have made a bit of contact there, which is now let Spilly try get down the inside. He's going to try and go the long way. Is Spilly. He's managing to hold it there. He went around the outside. Did Spilly there. What a move there from the Racing Point driver. Going through the double left-hander, the fastest corner on the racetrack. Manages to get the move done into P4. Now he's got his eyes set on Jay Banks in front of him. Definitely seems to be the quicker driver at the moment is Spilly. Very nice move there. That's definitely got to be one of the overtakes. One of the better overtakes I've seen in this league. Amazing how still right on the rear of P. Crichton. Is he going to dive down the inside? No, he thinks better of it. He's going to wait for the DRS down the back straight. Jay Banks is a little bit too far behind. He's going to have to try and catch up to these front two. It's amazing how now goes fastest with a 47.7. I do apologise with the little screen stutters. They're happy on screen. Anyway, coming through, Radion now does the 3 litres. Pete's managed to get a little bit of a gap to Amazing Hour down the back straight. That should have fixed the screen stutters. I do apologise for that little technical difficulty there. But anyway, Amazing Hour still is sitting behind P. Crichton. Coming through the middle sector now. Other leaders, Jay Banks is still right there with them. So LJB's managed to get back ahead of Spilly for P4. Definitely looking very quick at the moment. This is a McLaren driver, which he does have fresher tyres than any of these drivers in the top 5 at the moment. Still McKenzie trying to catch back up. He's unfortunately lost a little bit of time to these 2 drivers in front of him, of Spilly and Sir LJB. Dubsy's starting to fall. Well, he's going to begin to fall into the hands of his teammate of by contrast down in P7 and 8. Forty's just sitting within contrast of DRS at the moment. But now Amazing Hour and Pete have managed to come into the pits. So they're trying to do the overcar. I'm not too sure if Pete just came in to protect the undercut or not. But anyway, let's see what happens here between Pete Crichton and F1 Amazing Hour. Let's see if the Williams team managed to pull off a very quick pit stop here. He's actually been held in the pits, has Amazing Hour. That's going to cost him a little bit of time, so he's now fallen back behind Pete Crichton into P8. They're going to come out just in front of Andre, actually. So will Andre be able to get down the inside of Amazing Hour? This could definitely spice a few things up. Coming down the back straight now is Andre. Unfortunately was not able to make a move on Amazing Hour. 4th position there. J-Banks currently leads the Grand Prix at the moment. For Toro Rosso, I do believe we'll see him in this lap, so LJB will be able to go a little bit longer than the other drivers as he is on fresh tyres. Will we see J-Banks in this lap? It is only lap 8 at the moment of 22. Does he choose an arrow line? He is coming into the pits now. Is J-Banks, so LJB, I do believe, will stay out for another lap or two. No, he's actually coming into the pits now. This LJB. So now Stuart McKenzie's opted to stay out as he is on the medium tyre. He's got Dubsy right behind him. He is on a soft tyre. Is Dubsy, so he's going to start to feel the wear now. Is Dubsy. Runs a little bit deep coming into turn 1. Manages to get a stop there. He's going to have DRS and slipstream on Dubsy. Where did J-Banks manage to come out? He's come out actually a little bit behind Amazing Hour and Pete Crime, so he's actually lost time. In the pit stops there, has J-Banks staying out that extra lap. But now Dubsy's managed to get ahead of Stuart McKenzie. Pretty early down the straight, by the way. Runs wide there, there's Stuart McKenzie. I'm not too sure how long these medium tyres are going to last on the Williams. 40's on the medium tyres. Contrast, I don't know why the two Ferraris aren't pitting at the moment, so they're definitely just going to be losing each other time. Crossy is on the medium tyres at the moment. Stop so we can see who's done a stop. So currently the top 5 at the moment have all not made pit stops in this Grand Prix, leaving Amazing Hour in the net lead of this Grand Prix. He's actually made a move on Pete Crimer's Amazing Hour for the net lead of this Grand Prix. They're now catching up to Crossy. So I don't think Crossy will make this too easy for them, if I have to be honest, because Crossy, his teammate Spilly's technically still in the fight for a podium at the moment. I think Amazing Hour will be waiting for the DRS down the back straight anyway. Crossy now comes into the pit lane, sorry, Contrast driver I should say, comes into the pit lane. Amazing Hour sets the fastest lap as he's now chasing down Crossy in front of him. So hopefully Pete Crime's going to be able to get ahead of Crossy as well down the straight. Gonna ride on board with Pete Crime coming through Radion now. Amazing Hour should pretty much get this move done relatively easy, but it will be definitely close between him and Pete Crime. I think Crossy's just going to probably let him go here. He does. He thinks better of it. Does the Racing Point driver. Definitely not worth battling people that are not in your race at the moment, as he has also not made a pit stop yet, has the Racing Point driver of Crossy. Amazing Hour runs really wide there, so definitely already struggling with tyre heat probably, as it seems. There's still Dubsy that leads the Grand Prix. He's on the soft tyre at the moment, so he's definitely staying out for a long time at the moment, is the Ferrari driver. As I said, I contrast with, I believe, just got ahead of Swaggy. He's now put himself all the way back down to P12, so he's definitely lost a few positions there, has contrast, and a lot of time. Extra Evolution trying to make his way back up in P11, hopefully be able to move himself up into the top 10 to gain some points here in this afternoon's race. After that, very nice qualifying performance from the Toro Rosso team, running out the second row. For them, unfortunately, Revolution was caught up in the first lap drama with multiple drivers. So LJB sitting in P9 at the moment. Dubsy is now into the pit lane, for the only two drivers that have not made a pit stop at the moment is 40 and the Stuart McKenzie, but Pete Crine, I do believe, actually tried to make a move there on Amazing Hour. He's going to have the slipstream now. Is Pete Crine coming down Trois Rouge and Radion. Sitting in high at the moment is Pete Crichton and Amazing House sitting in overtake. They're going to go side by side, coming into turn 7. Amazing House the deep under brakes, but they do make slight wheel-to-wheel contact, but Pete Crichton gets the better of it, moving himself up into the P2, and now his teammate, actually 40, is now spun around on exit. I was just about to say, actually, I think that Pete Crichton will probably be let through by his teammate, but then Amazing Hour could probably sit behind, well, 40 could try and slow down Amazing Hour just to let Pete try and get out of his DRS range. But anyway, that's unfortunate there for 40, moving him all the way back down heaps of distance. He's going to have to make another pit stop for a new front wing. But it's Crossy and Stuart McKenzie have still failed to make a pit stop. 40 is now retired from the session. Safety cars don't seem to be a thing in this league, unfortunately. It would be nice to see one to bunch everyone back up. Can't do much about it anyway. Crossy has J-Banks right behind him. He's going to try and go around the outside as J-Banks follows him. I'd definitely try and wait. Because now Crossy's going to have the DRS on him. He tries to push him out wide. Does Crossy. So now Crossy's going to have DRS on J-Banks. If I was J-Banks, I just want to run a really high line coming through turn 1. Because now Crossy's going to have DRS on the Rosso driver in front of him down the back straight, but I don't think Crossy will probably make a move, as now he just gained himself a 3-second penalty for corner cutting multiple times. Will he make a move down the inside? He's actually turned DRS off there briefly, did Crossy. Now he's got his teammate behind him of Spilly, who's a little bit far behind. He's got 3 seconds to gain, does Spilly, to catch up to his teammate. Stuart McKenzie's still got a little bit of a gap. And now Amazing House managed to get back ahead of Pete. So they seem to, whenever we go off camera, they seem to swap positions a lot. Hello and welcome to the stream, guys.
Hello, S2V Nolan, Dynamite, Banana Josh.
Welcome to the stream. We're going to run a ball with Pete right now. He's going to be trying to make a move heading into turn 7 of the lap with DRS down the back straight. So he's going to have DRS on the front straight here. Here's Pete Crichton. Won't help him that much, but should edge him a little bit closer to Amazing Hour. He runs really deep there. Does Pete Crichton. He's done the wide line. Coming through turn 1. Amazing Hour's got a little bit of a gap. To Pete Crichton. He's unfortunately not going to be able to make a move. Here's Pete Crichton heading down the back straight. He's going to have to sit behind Amazing Hour for another lap. Stuart McKenzie staying out a really long time on these medium tyres, the same as Crossy. So we could see them in pretty soon. They're on lap 13 of 22. 10 laps remaining. 9 laps rather. In this Grand Prix remaining. We'll go through a rundown of where everyone is when they all cross the line. Pete Crichton, when all the drivers cross the line, Pete Crichton has fallen off a little bit from Amazing Hour. That gap's now out to 7/10 of a second. So Amazing Hour starting to edge away on Pete Crichton. They both have exactly the same ERS, may I point out. So anyway, it is amazing how Storm McKenzie that leads the Grand Prix at the moment. He's still not yet made a pit stop. He's leading the Grand Prix now. He's heading into El Rouge and Radion. Then you have his teammate Amazing now sitting MP2 now. Paul Williams. Then you got Pete Klein MP3. P4 is J Banks ahead of Crossy and Spilly, the two racing points who are starting to converge on each other. For P5, Sir JB MP6, 7 at the moment, I should say. P8 is the two Ferraris of Dubsy and Contrast sitting in P8 and 9. Then X Revolution now into the top 10 after that incident on the first lap. X Revolution's got to open up DRS here. I'm not too sure what he's doing. I think he's just trying to sit behind Contrast to save a little bit of ERS at the moment. Is Revolution, but anyway. He definitely seems to be the quicker driver out of these two at the moment. Clev's now just sitting outside of the points, unfortunately, for Renner. He, at this stage, won't be gaining any points as he just gained himself a 3-second penalty for multiple corner cutting warnings. Harry Tomatoes for Alfa Romeo sitting in P12. Gaming Wafer in 13th. 14th is Swaggy, who unfortunately had a really bad turn 1 incident there. I do believe he actually may have disconnected from the session, so that's unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo team. Andre, MP15 for Red Bull, ahead of Banana Josh's Ghost Car, MP16. So McKenzie actually ran really wide there on the exit of the first part of the bus stop. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Pete Grimes now right on the back of Amazing Hour again, so Amazing Hour must have made a little bit of a mistake, or Pete Grimes just definitely gained a lot of time on him. Look how much Amazing Hour just pulled out of that corner, just on initial acceleration. He gained 0.4 of a second just out of that corner alone. Coming down the straight now is Pete Crichton. He's going to have the run on Amazing Hour. Will he dive down the inside? He's going to think about it. He's going to go to the inside. It's Pete Crichton. He's going to move himself up into position, theoretical I should say, P1. He moved himself ahead of Amazing Hour. Race control has given J Banks a 3-second penalty. Yeah, so that's unfortunate for him. MP4 at the moment. But now Pete Crichton moves into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. 7 laps remaining in this race. Andre has now got a 3-second penalty. I do believe that was his second, so now he is up to 6 seconds worth of penalties. Is the Red Bull driver. Storm McKenzie's still a little bit ahead now at the moment of these two, but Amazing Hour is going to have the slipstream and DRS. See, Pete here could actually do a Sergio Perez, as now Storm McKenzie is in the pit lane. Yeah, he can do a Sergio Perez here. Could Pete Grind run wide through turn 1 just to get the DRS down the straight? No, he stays to the optimal line, so he will. The smart thing would be, especially if you are on the dying stages of the Grand Prix, run wide through turn 1, because this is the main slipstream slash passing area around the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. He opens the DRS now, but I don't think Amazing Hour really needed it, as the Pete Crichton, well, Amazing Hour was pretty much ahead of Pete Crichton before the DRS was even open on that Williams voice crack though. But anyway. So now Amazing Hour leads, moves himself up into position 1. It's going to be a tight battle towards the end of the race between these two. J Banks has a 3-second penalty as well, so it's 3.9 behind between him and Spilly. So at this stage he will keep P3 in this Grand Prix. Spilly actually gets a massive tank slapper there, coming through the double right hand. W's still a little bit too far behind to make a move. That's Banana Josh's lap car or Ghost Car I should say, that is getting laps. Now Pete Ryan is still right on the rear of Amazing Hour. We will have Slipstream and DRS heading down the back straight. So Amazing Hour is definitely managing his ERS very nicely. He's very good at it compared to other drivers managing ERS. Pete runs a little bit wide there, so that's going to cost him down the straight. So Amazing Hour just pulls so much of Pete on the exit of turn 1. I don't think Pete's going to be close enough to make a move here unless Amazing Hour runs very low ERS. He's running overtake at the moment. That's higher than what Pete is running, as Crossy now is the fastest driver on track. Well, he set the fastest lap at 146.8 if I was correct. That was. Revolution and Eye Contrast are going at it, coming into the middle sector of Revolution, moving himself up into P8 now finally, as he was sitting behind Contrast for a little while, trying to save some ERS up. So that moves Revolution up into P8 now. He's got Storm McKenzie in his sights now, and then not too far ahead is Sir LJB, who I recently was just passed by Dubsy. Now Dubsy's also got Spilly, he's got to try and catch up to. J Banks has a little bit of a gap between them two now. Pete Crime's got 5/10 of a second between him and the race leader. Heading on to lap 17, about to start lap 18, is the leaders of the Belgian Grand Prix. A little bit further behind now is Pete Crumb than I think he ideally would like to be. Coming down the main straight now. A little bit far behind at the moment is Pete Crumb. He will get DRS down the back straight, as now Mackenzie goes the fastest lap with a 145.2 if I was correct that said. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, Amazing Hour's got a massive lead now ahead of Pete Ryan, out to 8/10 of a second between the two leaders of the Grand Prix. Dubsy now has a 3-second penalty in P5 for multiple track extending warnings, but I think the majority of the drivers do have penalties. I know J Banks has one, Spilly I'm not too sure. Actually yes, I do believe he has one. I believe these two are the only drivers that may not have penalties at the moment. He has a lot of overseer there, did Pete Crime. Really pushing that Mercedes to keep up with Amazing Hour. I wonder if Amazing Hour will be out of the DRS straight and coming down the back straight. We've got a little bit of a gap at the moment between him and the driver behind him of Pete Crichton. So if anything, Jay Banks is actually starting to catch up to this group. So we're going to have a look, remember next lap, to have a look as they now head on to lap 19. 3 laps remaining included in this Grand Prix. So it's 3.3 seconds between Jay Banks and Pete Crime. So we're going to see if that does manage to close towards the at the next lap, to see if he is catching up to the front two. And now Spilly has Dubsy right behind him. Coming down the back straight now, Dubsy clearly has the straight line advantage with the DRS and ERS. Move himself up into P4 for Ferrari. Nice job there from Dubsy. So now Stuart McKenzie is going to try and catch up to the rear of that Racing Point. At Contrast and Revolution now. I think Revolution actually had an incident there coming through turn 7, 8 and 9. So that's put him back down behind Eye Contrast. So now Ferrari are sitting in P4 and P8 at the moment with Dubsy and Contrast. So we'll have to see here if Pleb is actually catching up to Crossy. The gap's definitely closed. So we'll have to see if Pleb is able to get into the points paying positions here for this afternoon's Grand Prix. There are 3 retirements already in this session. Technically, you could say Banana Josh is a retirement as well, as he has got a ghost car driving for him. P-Crimes now caught back up to the rear of Amazing How. They're going to be heading onto lap 20 of 22 here. That's a lot of oversteer there, did P-Crime. Still getting oversteer, definitely seems to be cooking up his rear tyres at the moment. Is the Mercedes driver. He's going to have DRS, slipstream and potential overtake DRS, which he is using at the moment. Up ready on he goes. He's already gaining on Amazing Hour. As you can see, he's going to open DRS. This is only going to help him even more. Amazing Hour running with DRS in overtake at the moment, was still unable to out straight line speed the Mercedes behind him with just DRS and slipstream. Amazing Hour does keep that spot though. Dubsy and Spilly are still going at it. They're going to go side by side coming through turn 8. Turn 9 now they don't. They managed to sort it out. Now Dubsy keeps that position in P4. Scott McKenzie is right there as well. So LJB unfortunately fallen back down to P7. Unfortunately Revolution has left the session, so that's unfortunate for the Toro Rosso driver, who is looking to move up into P. Will catch up to that train in front of him. So this should move Plebs hopefully up a position into P10 for Renault. If Revolution can't get back into the session quick enough. But look how close now P-Crun is to the rear of that Williams car. You're 71% of ERS he can manipulate with at the moment. He's sitting behind him at the moment. Is P-Crun. He's trying not to make a move. He's going to try and go around the outside though. He's going to go side by side coming into the bus stop chicane. Amazing how leaves in the room. He tries to do the switchback. Does P-Crun, but he's going to wait for DRS down the back straight. They head onto the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix now. So if I was Pete, I would definitely try and sit behind Amazing Al for this penultimate lap and make a move on the last lap of the Grand Prix. Amazing Al desperately trying to break that slipstream. He just pulled 0.5 of a second there, did Amazing Al, on just the exit of that corner of turn 1, let alone. But anyway, J Banks at the moment has got 2.6 seconds between him and Dubsy. So at this stage, Dubsy will go onto the podium as J Banks has a 3-second penalty he has to owe, unless Dubsy makes a mistake. Actually, no, Spilly and Dubsy are still going at it, so this is only going to be good for J Banks, as that should edge him a little bit further ahead of these two as they are battling. He's going to try and go back down the inside as Dubsy. Spilly defended the inside line, locks up the inside front though. Dubsy's going to be right on him coming towards the end of the lap. But it's still Pete Crichton right behind F1 Amazing Al. There's actually 6 seconds rather, I should say, between J Banks and Spilly. So at this stage, sorry about that, J Banks should keep that position. I was reading it a bit wrong. Sorry about that, but anyway, they're about to head on to the final lap now of the Grand Prix. Let me know in the chat who you think's going to win the Grand Prix. 1 lap remains ahead of the drivers. Will Amazing Al run wide on the exit of turn 1 just to try and pull Pete into the DRS slipstream? He doesn't do it here, but will he do it coming through turn 1? So it'd definitely be smart to pull off the Checo Perez. Say break early here. Will he run wide? No, he doesn't actually. They head on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. So now Pete runs really close to Amazing Al, but Amazing Al gets that very nice run. Off the first corner, Amazing Al is going to be in overtake mode, but Pete's got a 79% ERS to manipulate at the moment, so he's going to be running in overtake for the majority of this lap. He's trying to break the slipstream at the moment. Is Amazing Al. He's not close enough at the moment. Is Pete Crichton, so he's going to have to try and do it towards the end of the lap. Through the final sector is Pete Crichton. You have to try and sit as close to that rear wing of the Williams as he can. Dubsy and Spilly are still going at it. Dubsy gets ahead of Spilly. Moving up into P4. Stu McKenzie's unfortunately fallen off a little bit, but now Contrast and Sir LJB are going side by side. They make slight wheel-to-wheel contact. But Sir LJB manages to keep that position for P7. And the battle's not actually over. They're going to go side by side, coming through this long right-hander now. Contrast gets down the inside for Ferrari, pushes Sir LJB out wide. He has to correct the oversteer to Sir LJB there. So now Contrast moves up into P7, but we're definitely going to have to ride on board with this battle here. He's in hot lap, is P. Crichton. How much ERS is amazing how they've got. They both have the exact same ERS at the moment. That's going to be a complete drag race down this back straight. He's going to have slipstream, is P. Crichton, but it doesn't seem to be doing enough at the moment. Amazing how looks like he's going to be able to hold on here. Coming through the final sector now, P. Crichton unfortunately did not get the best of exits coming through turn 1. He's going to dive down the inside and they made contact. P. Crichton tried to do the dive bomb on Amazing Hour. But unfortunately, that was actually very lucky there. I do not know how Amazing Hour did not spin. But anyway, P. Crichton actually manages to keep that position somehow because J Banks had a penalty. So he's going to come home P3 as J Banks. Spilly moves himself up into P4 after all the time penalties. Dubsy goes back down to P5. Stu McKenzie in P6. I Contrast 7th, and then 8th is Sir JB, who I think put it in the wall there with pure frustration. That was actually a really nice result there from Sir JB considering where he started. P9 goes to Crossy, and rounding out your top 10, taking on the final point was Plebs for Renault. Very nice job there from him. He's moved. He's actually just kept his positions there. So Stuart McKenzie, he kept his qualifying position, I should say. But Stuart McKenzie is the driver of the day here, moving up 9 positions in this Grand Prix. Then it's Harry Tomato coming home P11, P12 Revolution, Gaming Wafer P13, 14th Andre. He's unfortunately not finished the race yet, but he spun out through the double right hand. I think he's kind of given up at this stage. He's probably going to retire from the race. But then it's Swaggy who's just managed to get ahead of him. His ghost car anyway. Banana Josh's ghost car has retired from the session. Very nice job there from Amazing Hour, taking home the AOR Hype Energy PS4 OCEANIA League win here at the Belgian Grand Prix. Still waiting for Andre and Swaggy to finish their race at the moment. Congratulations to the top 3 place getters of F1 Amazing Hour, Pete Crichton and J Banks. Pete Crichton had to dive. Probably was way too far back, but anyway, I'm very, very surprised that Amazing Hour did not spin around there. Coming across the line now is Andre. I actually don't think he has any fuel left. Actually, yes, he does. Puts it in the wall there. Nearly next to Sir JB's car, but anyway. They are, as you can see, top 3 podium getters. I'm actually going to try and see if we can get Amazing Hour into a party chat here so we can have a little bit of an interview with our race winner. It is F1 Amazing Hour that takes the win here at the Belgian Grand Prix. I'm actually just going to quickly swap over to this scene real quick as I'm going to try and invite F1 Amazing Hour to a party so we can have a quick little interview with our race winner. In the group chat as well, he does seem to be a little bit angry with that move that Pete did pull off. So we're going to invite Amazing Hour now to the party. See if we can get a little reaction there from our race winner. Very nice win there from Amazing Hour. Then Peak Run taking home that second position for the Belgium Grand Prix. As you can see now, we do have our race winner here for the AOR Hype Energy PS4 Belgian Grand Prix rather. It is F1 Amazing Hour. Yeah, can you... Actually, I may have my mic muted. Can you hear me? Hello, hello? Hello, hello? Can you hear me? Having a few technical difficulties. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Can you hear me, Amazing Hour? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I think we're having a few technical difficulties. I don't know why. We might try and get Amazing Hour into a Discord call for you guys. But anyway, that has been the German Grand Prix here for this afternoon's race. If you guys are new around here, unfortunately we weren't able to get Amazing Hour into a party. We're having a few technical difficulties. If you guys are new around here, please do hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on to get notified when the stream does go live. My name is Expert, and I will see you guys next time.